Hi, Allison. It's so nice to see you here. Thank you so much for coming.
I am so excited to be here.
I'm so excited you're here. I can't even explain how excited. So let's start off. Tell me about you. Tell me your journey.
All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
Because if I didn't live it, I don't know if I would believe it. So I started off as a junior high school teacher. Yay!
School teachers.
I know, I have so much love and respect for school teachers everywhere. And I worked super hard, worked my first month, they handed me my first paycheck, and I also saw that I qualified for government assistance. And I was like, wait, what? No. Wow. I was told that if I went to college, got a degree, I would have financial security. And government assistance and financial security.
Job.
Yeah.
And I needed government assistance.
Yes. I'm like, wait, I've been lied to.
Yeah.
I've been lied to. This is crazy. So I started another job at night. I started tutoring business. And about 2 months into it, I looked at my life and I said, I don't want to live like this. I have a baby at home. My husband was going to school full time. And I was working 10, 12, 15 hours a day to be able to just put food on our table because we were poor college kids, right? And I just right out of college. And I said, this isn't it. And so I went to the local library because I didn't even have a phone. And I checked out like the entrepreneur magazines and the business magazines. And I found out that people could pay for food, their mortgage, their cars by becoming an entrepreneur. And I'm like, all right, I got to figure this out. And I didn't know how to spell it. So every time I had to spell check the dang word. And so I dug in and I started playing around with it and something clicked. So a few years later, I had 4 kids at my feet and I'm like, all right, I've got to figure something out, but what can I do with 4 kids? Because 4 kids is a lot, right? And something about an online store, setting up an online store, e-commerce. Now, when I first started, I didn't even know what e-commerce was. I thought that word was so ugly. I'm just going to put it up over here and totally ignore that word because that's ugly. I wanted to start an online store. But everything I read said that you had to have a lot of inventory and a lot of money, and I didn't have either. And so I looked around my house and I found something that was headed to the trash can, and I said, I'm going to try and sell this. I'm going to see if this will work. So I put it up online. And I remember I was down in my office, which is like a bedroom, right? And a little tiny computer in the side.
Office,
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm nursing my baby, typing one-handed, and I hit publish. And I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens. And the first product was vinyl lettering. And do you know what that is? Ever heard of that stuff?
Tell me what it is.
It's like black sticky paper that you can cut out. I didn't even have a cutter to cut it out. So I just cut it into strips. So it was basically a large piece of tape is what I was selling. And I walk upstairs because I hear the rumbling of my toddler to start the whole breakfast routine. And my husband comes around the corner and he's like, what is that dinging sound? And I'm like, I don't know. They're boys and some toy malfunctioning, right? So he goes off to investigate, and he comes whipping around the corner and he's like, Allison, those dings are you making sales online? And it was at that moment, I clearly remember it, that my body experienced every single emotion possible because I had just proved that it worked. All these stories that I've heard about people making money online, I just did it.
Wait. I have chills. That is so big.
It is.
It is so huge.
And then I went from, oh my gosh, this works, to I'm so mad. Why didn't I do this sooner? What was my holdup? Why was I waiting for so long to do this? And so I grabbed the baby, grabbed the toddler. We have this huge dance party in the kitchen. You know I'm a big fan
Dance party.
of dance parties, especially in the kitchen. We're screaming around the house. The other 2 girls wake up out of bed and they're like, what is going on? And I made $200 to $300 that very first sale. And to me, that was like I'd won the lottery. It was better than winning the lottery because I just realized that I could make money. I didn't have to have a boss telling me, you have to be there from 9 to 5. You have to wear this. You have to do this. No, I figured I proved to myself that I could do this. And it was so empowering. And it was only $200 to $300. But to me, that just opened up the window. And then I realized I sold out because it was literally like trash I didn't have anymore. So the next day I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta go find another product. So I went downstairs to the birthday bin of leftover birthday shenanigans, right? And I found these Gable boxes. And Gable boxes, they hold cookies for like little treats. And so I put those up online and I didn't sell any. And then the third day I put up another thing and I didn't sell. And I was like, all right, that was fun. I made $200, $300. I guess that was it. And I remember I was sitting in the garage with my husband, unpacking the car, and I had the most clear thought come into my head. And it said, Alison, I just showed you how to do it. How dare you quit?
Oh.
And it was at that point, and I believe it was God. And so whether you believe in God, universe, higher power, whatever it is, someone looking out for you, God spoke so clear to my heart and said, you can't stop. I just showed you it works. Don't stop. Don't stop. And so that next day I got up super early again because I had to get up early because I had kids, school, breakfast routine, everything. My husband was going to school or going to work at this point. And that fourth day I sold out again. And so it was like God, universe, whatever you believe in is like, here's a little glitter. Go get the glitter. It's there. It's there. And I've learned that God wants us to have money because he knows we're going to do good things with it. He knows we're going to give money to our neighbors that are sick. And like at the time, it wasn't like it was poverty. Like we had enough food to put on our table, but we didn't have enough money to put food on other people's table. And as human beings, we want to give. We're supposed to serve. And you have to have money to serve. Because if you've been to the grocery store lately, you know making dinner for your sick neighbor costs a lot of money. And so I believe God's like, please, we've given you, you've got phones, you've got stuff in your house that you can sell. You don't have to have these complicated things to make money so that you can serve. And even if it's serving by going to the local shelter, you have to have transportation to get there.
Yeah.
That's gasoline, that's car, that's a bus pass. It takes money. And so God is just like, please make money because he trusts us to do such good things with it.
What you're saying is so big for us to know and talk about. And it sounds like you were shown the way and that like this opening that you just kept stepping through, and money is here to support you and God is here to support you, and you just kept doing it. Were you afraid though? Were you scared?
Still today, even before this interview, I'm in the bathroom saying a prayer because at that time when he was like, Alison, I just showed you this. I just showed you it's possible. I decided at that moment to make him my business partner because I need him. I feel I'm a mom of 4. I'm lucky to put on makeup, do my hair, running around, right? I was a junior high school teacher. I don't feel super brilliant, but with God by my side, he shows me things that I wouldn't have ever thought of. And the best thing is he knows me so much that he'll only give me a half a step at a time. So when I started 10 years ago, if he would have said, this is what your vision is in 10 years, I would have said, no, thanks. I just want to eat chocolate and go watch Netflix. I'm done.
It's really scary out there.
It is.
Yeah.
And so he's like, all you have to do is hit the publish button, Alison. All you have to do is sell trash. All you have to do is just one little thing, and then I'm going to open up another half step for you. He doesn't even trust me with a full step, and that's okay.
No.
Because he knows me better than I do. And like I said, the universe, like whatever you believe in, they guide you and they help you to get to your goals because they know our heart of service. They know our heart of we are human beings and we see people in need, and in the back of our minds we're like, what can we do to help?
Right.
And if we have money to be able to create the help to lighten someone's load. I remember my husband this summer, we live in Puerto Rico, which is really fun, and a big hurricane came through and destroyed the islands, the Bahamas. Just took everything out in the Bahamas. And my husband comes and he's like, hey, Alison, I just bought a bunch of mattresses, so if you see it on the credit card, you'll know what it is. And I'm like, mattresses? We have mattresses. What? And he said, there's a family out there of 6. Their house is completely gone, and they've been sleeping on the concrete slabs. There's a boat going over. I just heard about it, and so I just hurried and got mattresses on that. And I was like, that's so cool. First off, that he found that, right? And a second, that we were able to provide mattresses for that, especially that mom who's had 4 babies. If I slept on the concrete floor, I wouldn't be able to walk for 3 days. And I didn't have to go say, okay, wait, we need to arrange the budget. All right, we need to eat beans and rice this week so that we can do that. It was like, okay, we got it. We budget out a certain amount to be able to give for things like that, because everybody has crap time. Everybody has junk time where they just need a little bit of help. And I just look at like these little small things that are there, and entrepreneurship, starting that, being able to start your own business and having control and saying, you know what, I'm going to do this with my money. I'm going to impact this woman's life so that she can get a good night's sleep, so she can be a better mom. Like, to me, that's what it's all about. It doesn't need to be glitz and glamour and big, huge things. It's the little tiny things that can add up. And when you have a business, yay, you can control that.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's a lesson women need to hear more and more, that it's beautiful to step into owning your own business and being an entrepreneur. It's beautiful. It's to serve, it's to love, it's to share, it's to make money and celebrate yourself and grow. And as you said, having the trust and knowing that you are being supported and being called to something bigger.
The word.
But
Word of the year.
I could talk to you for days, because what you're saying is so special and so needed. But I want to know a little more about your journey. When you said you stepped into it and God said, please do not quit. What happened, and where did you grow your business? And I want to hear a little more about that.
Okay, so I brought some show and tell. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, a block of wood right here. So this represents so much about business building. This was one of the products that I sold. So I found this long stick of wood back behind the shed of our home, which a future owner had put it there and just left it there. And I went and I grabbed it and I chopped it into these little tiny blocks of wood. And I'm taking pictures of them to post online. And my neighbor comes around the corner and he's like, Allison, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to sell blocks of wood. And I was so excited.
Wait, I have to stop you. Where did this idea, do you get these downloads of like, this sounds good?
I'll tell you where.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where.
Okay.
Because you don't have to be creative. Yeah, just hang on.
Okay, good.
Because it's so good, because it's provided for everybody. You don't have to be creative. So anyways, I'm cutting up these blocks of wood, and he comes over, and he looks at me, and he's like, you're gonna sell trash? And I was like, oh, wait, is this product idea good enough? And then tons of self-doubt start coming into your head, right? Oh my gosh, maybe this is trash.
Nobody's gonna buy it. It's stupid.
Yeah. And I said, you know what? I don't have time for those thoughts. Just go sit over in timeout for a second. I gotta hurry and get a product up. Put the product up. We ended up selling enough to pay off my entire minivan at the time in naked blocks of wood. And that people are like, how did you do that? I'm not creative. I'm not either. We have Pinterest. God gave us Pinterest. So we go over there, and I literally sold these blocks of wood, and then I showed what you can do with the blocks of wood. So one of the things was, imagine making a countdown, a little advent calendar, and chubby little toddler fingers like turning down in anticipation for Santa Claus to arrive. Or you take a set of 9 and you glue the kids' pictures on them, wrap it up in a bow, they present it to mom, grandma for Mother's Day, and the grandma's like, this is the best gift ever. And so you start pulling in those emotions, right? That's what sales is. You're serving. So the mom with all the little kids doesn't have to go find a saw and cut down blocks of wood. She doesn't want to do that, right? She's cleaning up lunch or whatever. And you're like, here are these blocks of wood. Let's make this project super simple for you so that your mom, the grandma, will absolutely love it. And so I think when we learn that sales is not sales is service. How do we serve people? Then it takes like I don't want to be a salesperson. Like, it takes it away, and it allows us to step in to who we need to be. And that's serving human beings. We were meant to serve. And when we do that, when we put the value out into the world, then we get this stuff that's paper with a guy's face on it, right? That rewards us because we're going out there and we're serving people at the highest level. We're doing it because we care, not because of the paper with a guy's face on it.
I see your vision, and you kept stepping into, look at what I get to present to other moms. They're giving gifts from their children to grandma, and I get to provide this.
Yes.
And that unique way of looking at sales, not, I'm trying to make money.
Yeah.
But I'm getting to give grandma this beautiful gift from my kids.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I love, so starting an online store, can we please change the word e-commerce to something pretty? Like,
Yes, let's do it.
let's start a
do it.
trend. I don't know the word yet. We got to start a trend that
Yeah.
calls it something else. But when you can step in there and improve people's lives with something that doesn't have to have a trademark, doesn't have to have a patent, doesn't need to be complex. Because get on any magazine or read anything about starting an e-commerce store, they say you've got to have a brilliant idea. No, you don't. I sold blocks of wood when I first got started. I've sold cupcake liners. I've sold straws. I've sold necklaces. Just very ordinary things sell because people are already buying them. So after we started that store, we grew it to multi-million by year 2, which when I say that, I still kind of like, wow, that's such a big number because I started out as a school teacher. And so to say that, it's very, very humbling to me that I didn't even take a business class. I didn't know how to import, export. I didn't even know the difference between the two when I first got started. I just sold stuff from around my house. And that's what started something so ordinary, and it led to something so extraordinary. But the creep thought of this was a one-hit wonder, Alison, you're not good enough, kept coming back into my head. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start another business. So I started selling pillowcases, which, do you have a pillowcase?
Yes. Yes.
Everybody has pillowcases,
Right.
right? And so I was like, if everybody's buying pillowcases, why don't I just sell pillowcases? Instead of coming up with this new invention that I had to go pay a lawyer to get a patent, trademark on, all the snazzy things, get a prototype, and then maybe 2 years later, I'd finally have a product to sell. But then it would take me 6 months to convince the world that they would need this product, or I could sell pillowcases that people are already buying. So I just started with pillowcase. We built that to a multi-million-dollar brand too.
Just a simple pillowcase? Was there anything?
We did quotes on it
Okay.
and pictures, and then we had some with names on it. But it was a pillowcase. People are like, yeah, I need a pillowcase. That's an easy buy, right? Versus this fancy thing that they don't even know what it is yet. All right, I've done this twice. I'm gonna see if my daughters can do it. This is my favorite part. My favorite part of the story. I think this is my greatest accomplishment because it showed possibilities. So you have a teenager. Do you remember when he was a teenager?
Yes. So many ideas, so creative.
Yes.
So free.
Yes. But they also slept until 10 and they wouldn't do their chores.
Oh, yes. That part too. Yes.
So that's where our girls were going. They were 10 and 13 at the time, sleeping until noon. And my husband and I were like, we gotta do something. So we went down one morning at 10 o'clock and we said, all right, it's 10 o'clock. We're gonna do something. You got 3 choices. You can, number 1, you can do more chores. Number 2, you can start a business. Or number 3, you're gonna move out of the house. They didn't like the third option.
No.
They
Number
hated-
one's not good.
No, they hated it. And anyways, they chose business, which now they're like, Mom, that was so sneaky. You knew we were gonna choose a business. And I'm like, that's just good parenting, honey.
Okay, what happened? Tell me.
So they started their business. And this is so crazy. Like I said at the beginning, if I didn't live this, it's almost too good to believe, but I lived it. Like I was there. But at 10 and 13, they started this online business, and I'll tell you what they sold in just a second. But they've hit their first 6 figures before they stepped foot into high school.
Oh my.
They sold over 21,000, you ready for it? Scarves.
Oh.
The things that you put around your neck, the things that have been selling for centuries, that everybody sells. Scarves. but there was a need and they stepped into it and they filled that need. And so when people are like, I just don't know what to sell online, I'm like, you're overthinking it. Look around your house. Sell what you've got in your house first. Learn how to be messy. Learn how to practice. I mean, Christmas stuff, you always get presents that you don't want anyway. Right? Just go resell those. Learn how to write a description, take a picture. Like, be okay with being messy. And then you're like, oh, okay, I loved selling this. I hated selling this. And then the path gets clearer of where you want to go. So anyways, I taught my daughters, and then my sister said, hey, you want to teach me? And I'm like, yeah. So taught her. She ended up beating my daughters. I don't know if it was a competition, but she did it. And then I had friends started coming because they were hearing the story. And then people online were messaging me, hey, Alison, can I pick your brain? And I was like, okay, this is getting, how do I serve more people? Because I know this process works. I've done it twice. I've showed my daughters who were in junior high and elementary.
Showed my sister, showed my friends.
Yeah. And so I set up this community, and we call it the Because I Can Life. And we get to step into what I term the Because I Can Life. Because we can determine our financial future. Because we can give. And we say these statements like our manifesto, because I can live in happiness, because I know because I can accept that success doesn't happen overnight. And being okay with selling stuff in your home today doesn't mean that's the thing you're going to be doing the rest of your life. It just gives you permission to be okay with maybe a C+. Because I know we're all like, we got to be the best, we got to be the best. If I don't do it the first time, the best is just awful. No, just be okay with a C+. Come in, test, work it out, and then you're going to get better, and then you're going to get better. And so now I teach thousands of women how to start their own online store, and I'll tell you what, that has been the most humbling experience, because when I felt that I should start teaching about 4 years ago, I was like, no, I'm out. Let me just sit behind my computer, I'll sell my cupcake liners, I'll sell my straws, I'm good at that. Don't make me get in front of people. Like, the online world's scary. What if they make fun of my eyebrows that I drew on crooked? Right? All the things that go in your head. And just, it was so strong, Allison, you need to teach. I gave you this journey to teach other people. And I'm like, oh, okay, you got to help me. You got to help me, put me in touch with people that can help me to know how to do this. And so, of course, I met amazing people along the way. You want to hear a trick that I did for Facebook Lives? Like, okay, social media, going on lives, like, who invented that? That's just not cool. They get the raw. There's no editing. There's no filter, right? So the first few times I took a sticky note, like just a little Post-it note. Yeah. I put it over my phone so I couldn't look at my face. And I just talked into the little camera lens. And I didn't have that second voice saying, Allison, you got wrinkles. Allison.
You're not saying the right thing.
Yeah.
You're going to screw up. Yes.
And it went away. And so I gave myself permission to not look at myself so I could truly focus on the message. And then it helped gain that self-confidence. But like, in every step of the journey, when it was selling my very first product, when I was so scared, I had to realize, okay, that's normal. And this means that I'm growing. So you know what? Just like I told that guy who said, you're selling trash with those blocks of wood, I tell my thoughts, go sit in timeout. I got something to do. I'll come back to you in a minute. Like, I got stuff to do. I need to change lives, if it's my physical products or if it's my coaching. I have to change lives. This is why we're put on this earth, to serve others, to help others. And so those thoughts just sit over there, and I'll address them when I get to you.
I'm wondering, do you think fear, it sounds like you see fear and you're saying, that's where I need to go. Is it that you put it off to the side, or is it an indication of I need to jump in?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think as humans, we avoid fear, right? It's so much easier to sit and watch Netflix and eat Cheetos than to get out there and do a Facebook Live, or to get out there and, I mean, even if you hide, one thing I love about e-commerce, you can actually hide behind your product and you can put your product out there, but it's still hard no matter what. Yeah. But that's where you grow, right? When you're uncomfortable, That's when you move. And when you move into that uncomfortable, into the unknown, of course fear is going to follow because you've never done it. And your brain is wigging out saying, oh, no, go back to Netflix. That's comfortable.
Yeah.
Go back to watching whatever. That's comfortable. And we're supposed to grow. And then here's another thing. When we're serving, that makes Satan, the dark, whatever you believe in, really mad at you. He doesn't like us. He doesn't want the world to be good.
Wow.
He's trying to destroy people left and right. And so when we step into something that's going to help someone, if you don't have those self-doubts, it's probably not good enough because Satan's like, oh, it's not going to change anybody's life. It's okay. But when it does change someone's life,
He's getting scared.
he is taking all his minions and putting them on you to throw you off. I have this gal who came in, Mariana. It took her 9 years to launch her business because she was so scared to do it. So stuck in fear. And she's like, no more, I'm going to do it. She launched her first business. I think she made around $500 with her first launch. And she was so excited, right? She just proved that she could do it. She made money. And then icing on the cake was her husband was like, babe, I knew you could do this. I knew you could do this. And like that part's cool, right? But there's another part of the story. So 2 weeks later, she gets an email from her customer. And her customer bought a necklace from her, sent it to his wife, they've been separated, living on opposite ends of the country. And as soon as she opened that necklace, she called him and said, let's work this out. Let's work this out. Oh. I know, I get the chills. Every time I tell that story, I get the chills. It took her 9 years because Satan did not want them to get back together. He didn't. He hates us so bad that he was putting so much fear in her. And the moment that she turned it on, she just changed life for these two. They stay together. We're talking generations, right?
Yeah.
Satan's like, I hate you.
Stop.
Yeah, so those feelings of, I can't do this, of inadequacy, of overwhelm, I think they're from Satan or the dark because he knows we're on the right path. And then we watch for, I call it God's glitter, the little sparkles. And that's the path to go on to serve people. It was a necklace. It wasn't a patent, complex anything. It was a necklace. It's there for us. We've got phones, we've got computers, we can get stuff, we can get product easy, and we turn it around and we serve our people. And then the money comes.
You're creating this community of women who naturally love to connect and share their ups and their downs, their fears, and like, I can't do this and I'm scared, but I'm seeing you do it, so it gives me hope. And it gives me, if you could do it and you were scared, then I can do it because I'm scared and I need somebody to show me the way. And
Yes.
you're doing that for us.
And it's because when I started down in this little makeshift office by myself, and I was alone for a long time. And I thought those fears of inadequacy, the fears of overwhelm, the fears of I'm not good enough, I thought I was the only one that thought those things. And as I learned that everybody has those thoughts, I've learned that starting a business alone, don't do that. You don't need to. There's people out there, communities out there that are wanting to say, go do this. There's plenty of space, there's plenty of room. And now with e-commerce booming, everybody's shopping online. And we are needed so much in life right now to step up and serve than ever before. I've got people that they'll send 2 necklaces or 2 earrings, and it's one for the person that buys it, and then one to an extroverted friend who hasn't been able to get out for a while. Because have you ever just gotten a random package in the mail, and you're like, who's this from? You open it up, you weren't even expecting it, and it was from a friend. What do? You call them. I love you, thank you so much for thinking about me. And it lifts their spirits up. And we need that right now.
Yes.
We're all in this like funky space in our life where we need more human connection. And just these little things. And it's the business owner who's like, I'm going to step up and I'm going to provide these opportunities for connection.
Do you feel,
I have lots of feels.
I just have this instinct that you feel that it's our job as women to step into it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
that it's time for us to stop hiding and step more into this thing that I'm feeling, my girlfriends are feeling, you're feeling, that I'm hearing from you, that's so universal. It's time for us to step out and not be afraid and to do what we're supposed to do, what we're meant to do.
It's our moral obligation to do it. We as
Why?
women,
Yes.
we as women were meant to serve. We have this desire to take care of people. We have this desire to improve other people's lives. And if you can provide another mom with cupcake liners so she's not spending 3 hours scrubbing out the cupcake pan from burnt cupcake stuff on her pan, serve her.
You're helping.
Serve her. If you've got leftover books laying around, get on Pinterest, figure out what you can do with books, right? Or bundle them up, put them in a marketplace, sell them, so a mom doesn't have to get, 2 years of book finds from the library.
Oh, Googling, going out, finding them, paying
Yes.
brand new books. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? If someone gave me the books,
Yeah.
that is a huge service. That
Right?
would save me hours and weeks and months of time.
Yeah, if you're like, here are the
Yes.
best books for a 5-year-old, wrap it up, put a little bow around, I don't even know, right? It's gonna save a mom so many hours, and that mom's gonna be so grateful. But I think as women, we get into our head of, oh, I can't charge them anything. I don't have value. I just need to give it to them for free. No, because if you give it to them for free, think about what happens at parades. You go to a parade and they're throwing out free t-shirts, right? People are super excited to get the free thing. I mean, there's like grown men like punching babies in the face trying to get that free t-shirt, right? But then they get home and it's 10 sizes too big or it's 10 sizes too small and it just goes in the trash. And so if you give stuff away for free, people don't put value on it because it's not the right fit for them. But when they pull money out, it puts value on it and it balances it out. And so they take what you are giving them, they put more value on it, they take better care of it, they use it more, and then you get the money. So if you are giving stuff away for free, let's say you're an artist and you handcraft earrings and you are charging $2 for an earring that takes you 10 hours to make, you are doing a complete disservice to the person that's buying them from you because they'll treat them like dollar store trash, and they're not at all.
How do you see money?
How do I see money?
Yeah, there's something, you see it as beautiful. And
It is.
I want to hear how you see money.
I see money as a tool. And I heard this from a sweet friend named Kathy Heller. It's a resource. So like a flower, if you put more water on a flower, what does a flower do?
It grows.
Yeah. If you have a giving heart and if you put money into it, what happens to it?
It grows.
It grows. Yeah, money is a resource for us to become more of who we are. So if we're service-based, if we are, of course, if we're evil-based, then if you're evil, don't start a business. let's just lay that ground.
Good. Evil, no.
No, but if you want to go out there and help people to live a beautiful life, like, have you ever given money? It's this feeling of, I want to do that again.
Yeah.
I want to do that again. And so for me, I see money as a means to do good in the world. And it's not necessarily like just giving out like, oh, here's $10, right? No, not like lottery style. I'm talking about microloans. Hey, here's a sewing machine. Let's go do this. Let's build a business together. Let me show you the way, right? Because then she can afford to put her kids in school or food on whatever it is, right? And then she has a more stable environment to make the decisions with her money, right? And then her kids are going to learn. So can I tell you another story?
Yes.
I know, I'm so full of stories.
I love it.
Because they're so good.
I love it. I love it.
So I have a gal come in. She wanted to make money. She has 3 kids, single mom. And she's like, I don't know what to sell. And I'm like, you got this. You got this. So I do a little thing with her, with all my students of how they can find their perfect product to sell. And she decided that she wanted to sell t-shirts. And she comes to me and she's like, I want to sell t-shirts, but I kind of feel like they're saturated. And I'm like, so? No one has your story. No one has your voice. No one has your art. Do this. Do this. So she dives into it. Then she starts seeing the success over and over and over again. And when she started, she didn't have anything. I'm talking nothing. Within a year, she had $1 million business. Selling t-shirts.
That's been And she's right. It's a crowded space.
It's
I
very
have
crowded.
chills.
Okay, but it gets better. You ready for the next step?
Yes. Yes.
She's teaching her daughter how to do it. Now her daughter has her own business, and I think she's 17 or 18. And then this goes back to even my girl story too. We're showing our daughters, our future generation, that they have options now. You don't have to go to college and get these huge student loan debts and then figure out that's not even what you want to do in life. But you can create something that makes you happy. This daughter, Izzy, she's an artist. She creates designs. I got one on today. It's so cute. Sunshine.
Oh,
State of mind. Isn't that the cutest shirt ever?
it's so full of hope and
Yes.
confidence.
Yeah.
What do you see when you teach a woman, one of your students, and you see them before and how they are to when they accomplish something big like that? What do you see the growth and how do they change?
Okay, so I teach women, mainly women, how to make money online. That's like the thing, that's the tangible thing. But what is delivered is self-confidence. Then, okay, so to make the first dollar online it's not easy. I'm just gonna put it out there. And it's not hard because you're like, oh, the technology and the glitz and all that stuff. No, it's because you gotta get through here. Like, this is the hardest part. You have to tell your brain, okay, I'm gonna start a business. And your brain's like, oh no, you're not an entrepreneur. You're not a businesswoman. What are you doing? No, go back and do what you wanna do. It's trying to keep you safe, right? And so you have to tell your brain just little baby steps. And you have to prove to your brain, all right, I'm gonna make this first dollar. Don't tell your brain you're gonna make $1 million. Your brain's gonna call you a liar. But you say, you know what? I'm going to make my first dollar. Your brain can say, okay, I've seen you make $1 before. You can do this. And then you make your first dollar. And then when you make your first dollar, you have to be surrounded with people that will celebrate the heck out of you.
First dollar.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to be celebrated for that. And a community that understands it, because if you go out into the world and you're like, I just made $1 online, they're going to say, okay, that's lame.
How much time did you spend making $1?
Yeah.
Yes. No.
But the entrepreneur world gets it. And so we celebrate the heck out of these women that make their first dollar, because if you think about it, women, they probably haven't been celebrated since junior high when they made the cheerleading team, right? Or whatever, softball or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And to be celebrated as an adult instead of being screamed at from your kids, it helps build their self-confidence. And these women, we can feel what people need. And we can see a product and say, you know what? Those straws would help a mom. Or those straws, let's make them paper and not plastic so we don't bugger up Mother Earth, right? We can see that. That's who we are. And we can get those products out there. I think it just comes, the whole insecurity starts beating us down. Satan beating us down because he knows our power. He knows what we can do. He knows a simple block of wood can change a family dynamic, or a necklace can change future generations. And so we have to work through these thoughts. And by doing it, it's let's make the first dollar. Tell your brain, yes, you can make the first dollar. Make the first dollar, great. Let's double it. Let's go to $2. Great. Let's go to 5,000. Let's go to 10,000. Let's go to 100,000. And you start telling your brain, I can do this. When I made my first $200 online, back in my mind was like, how cool would it be to make $1 million? But my brain was like, oh no, you got a long way to go. And I said, great, let me just get my first 5,000. And my brain said, okay, I bet you can get to 5,000, right? But if I kept saying 1,000, it was such a lie, I couldn't get there. And I think a lot of people online are like, go get your million overnight. No, don't do that. You're not ready for it yet. Just start. The first thing, gain that confidence. And that confidence is what you need to go to the next step. So yeah, money is the thing that's fun, right? Money's always fun. But self-confidence is delivered. And I'm seeing these moms, after I've taught them and they become successful and they're teaching their kids, I've seen these kids completely blossom. They're now becoming leaders in their community. They're now standing on stages speaking to other kids about, hey guys, we don't have to go to college. We can run a business that we're passionate about, that we're an artist, or we're a musician, or We're passionate about sports. We can create a lifestyle that we actually love living. I know. It is so, so fun.
It's huge. 2 questions.
Okay.
Are you still scared? And the second one is, what's your mission? What's next? What are you called to do?
Okay. Number 1, still scared? Always.
Yes.
I think if I'm not scared, I'm not going in the right direction, right? Every time, I'm not kidding, every time I launch a product, I will go to my family. I'm not strong. I will tell you that. I'm not strong. And I will go to my family and I say, I need you to hold me here.
Damn it.
I can't do it. I had to speak in front of a huge audience. And I was like, why am I doing this? Why did I say yes? Why am I not just sitting at home? But I can feel that I need to do it. And so I went to my family and I looked at them all. And I had some of my team members there too. And I said, I'm scared. And this was like 2 years ago. This wasn't when I first started. And I said, can you hold my fear for me? I need to step into who God needs me to be, but this fear is crushing me right now. They all came up, they gave me a hug. And then right before I stood on stage, someone took a picture of my husband holding me, and my kids wrapped around my legs, saying, Mom, you got this. We have your fear. We have your fear, Mom. And I said, thank you. Now I can go step into it. I had an interview, like a month ago, and my little guy he's doing homeschool, right now, doing homeschool at home. He knows he's watching the clock because he knows what's coming up because I've been talking about it. We talk about business. We talk about stuff all the time. And he puts his camera on no camera, leaves school, comes over to me. He's like, Mom, I know you got this interview. I'm holding your fear. He's 11 years old. And he's like, go, Mom, be who you need to be. And then even this morning before this interview, he's like, Mom, you better come down because I left the house at 4:30. So why is 4:30 in the morning even invented? I don't even know. I don't even know. He's like, Mom, you have to come wake me up because I got to hold your fear. And so for that, like, you can't do business alone. You can't. You'll get swallowed up in those thoughts because you're meant to do something grand, even if it feels so tiny. That lady selling the necklace, she didn't know that she was going to impact lives, right? We're not meant to do this alone. You've got to have a community. You've got to have people that understand business. It's more than just sales. It will always be. And that's the basis of it. And when you learn that principle, it takes off I can't charge money. No, it puts in the value to where you're like, I have to charge you money because I know this product. I know these earrings. I know these shoes. I know these pants are going to change your life. How many times have you put on a pair of pants and you're like, oh my gosh, my butt looks big? That inventor, the designer, they should be so rewarded because they just made our butt look big. And if he would have charged like $2, we wouldn't have ever put them on. Mm-mm. So we have to charge the money so that people will value the product. Mm-hmm. And yes, money's good.
Money is good.
Money is so good. Okay, so what was the second question? Sorry, I forgot.
Well, you live it. What's your mission? What's the next thing?
So this is so fun. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I've been through this journey and it's been such a blessing. And then now I get to watch these other women completely change their lives. Like one gal, she launched her business in March. She had to have surgery and was like, I don't want to stop. So her husband built her this desk because she had to lay flat for an entire week after the surgery. Built this desk where she literally would type upside down to keep her business going. Mm-hmm. It like the most beautiful story of it. And I get to live these stories. Mm-hmm. And this lady went out, she's selling home decor, nothing fancy. It's like 3-tiered trays and wood bowls, nothing fancy, right? Mm-hmm. She went on, broke well over $1 million her first year. Like these are the stories that I get to live and I get to see them and I get to be a part of them. And it's such a fulfilling thing for me. And I'm like, that's kind of selfish. I get to show people, but I want other people to live it too. And so what we've done is our goal now is to give microloans to women. It's about 95% women, where they don't have the opportunity to start a business, where a sewing machine can actually put food on the table, where 2 goats can help a kid go to school. And so last year we were able to give out 2,000 microloans. I think it was 2,300 microloans. And so now our goal is to give out 10,000 microloans, but it's not in my name, it's in the name of my students. And I want my students to feel what I get to feel. So as they're going through this process, they know that they're helping another mom somewhere else in the world to be able to be successful too. And so it's like a twofold thing, right? They're getting the money, they're gaining that self-confidence, and then they're also knowing that there's another woman who literally had nothing, but now she has a sewing machine or goats or whatever it is in her area that will provide for her family and change future generations. So that's my main goal right now, is how can I give more microloans in my students' names? Not in my name, in their name, because I want them to embrace it. It's so powerful. When I go in, I present that to my community, and I'm like, all right, we just gave this many awards. Look at all of your names. My name's not on there. This is you. You're showing up for you, and because of that, you get to see this blessing. And it just builds us together, and it builds our community stronger to go out there and fight and put on, maybe brush our, no, not even brush our, put our hair in a messy bun.
Yes.
Get it out of our face,
Yeah.
and go out there and serve the world the best that we know how. It's not about perfection. It's just about doing.
Thank you for who you are. Thank you for showing us the way. Thank you for bringing us all with you and creating this community of women that we're all in this together. And
Yes.
I honor and am so appreciative of what you're doing. And thank you so much for sharing. There's a big spotlight on you, and we need to hear more of what you teach and share with us. No, we need you.
You're
So thank
sweet.
you.
But it's these women's stories. And that's the cool part. Like, you are opening up this opportunity for women to see the possibility. And I love what you said. It's always about come with me. It's not, hey, look at me. I got a jacket on. I'll tell you the truth. I still have the tag on it because I haven't had a chance to take it off because I have 4 kids, 1 going to college. We just got a puppy. The tag is still on this, and I'm okay with it.
Wait, pull the tag out, and you're getting on an airplane in an hour.
Yes.
And you said yes, and you did it because you're serving. You wanted your story. You wanted to make sure. We did a prayer before this to have every woman who needs to hear your message hear what she needs to hear.
Yes, because it's possible. It changed my life completely. Completely. Knowing that when we go to like a restaurant, our goal now is we can't double. We found, like, when we get the bill, it's like $60 or $80, whatever it is. I always said we want to double and give like $160 to the waitress, but it kicks it back and it says error. So we always go like $1 underneath what the bill was. We've had so many waitresses cry on us. That is what money is for. It's to give. It's to give that waitress who, and I was a waitress once, so I know it, her sore feet. She's been working all day. She's tired. And when you just put a little extra in, and you can see that emotion, how much she means to the world, how grateful I am that she brought me food with a mask on that she's been wearing for 8 hours. I am so grateful for that woman showing up for me. So how can I show up for her? So it's my job to figure out how to make money so that I can bless more lives. And if you're listening right now, like, it is your job, your moral obligation to get out there, learn how to make money. It's not complicated. Like, uncomplicate it. Sell the trash in your home. Make the money. There's plenty of marketplace you can sell on to get started so that first you can take care of your family. Take care of you. Take care of your family. Then you can start taking care of your friends, your neighbors. And that's the ripple effect that's going to change the world.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and we want more of you, and keep singing, your everything. We need you. Thank you so much.
Let's do it. Let's change the world.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, Alison.
Thank you.
I love Alison's story. Alison discovered a business in her own backyard and turned it into a success for herself, her daughters, and now thousands and thousands of other women. She really does prove that you can start with whatever you have, wherever you are. So thanks to Alison, I don't think I'll feel like I have a shortage of opportunities ever again.